In ancient Japan, there lived a young potter who dreamed of creating the most beautiful ceramics in all the land. Every morning, he would wake before sunrise, his heart burning with ambition. He wanted his work displayed in the emperor's palace. He wanted his name whispered with reverence. In every marketplace, for years, he practiced relentlessly. His hands became one with the clay, spinning, shaping, molding pieces that grew more refined with each passing season. Other potters in the village began to take notice. Merchants started visiting his humble workshop. Everything was falling into place. Then came the day that would change everything. A royal messenger arrived in the village, announcing that the emperor sought a master craftsman to create a ceremonial tea set for his daughter's wedding. This was it. This was the moment the young potter had been waiting for his entire life. He worked for 3 months on that tea set. He barely slept. He forgot to eat. His fingers bled from the endless hours of perfecting every tiny detail. When he finally finished, he held in his hands what he believed to be his masterpiece. The glaze shimmered like moonlight on water. The proportions were perfect. Even the other potters admitted they had never seen anything quite like it. The night before the presentation to the emperor's representatives, the potter couldn't sleep. He kept checking on his precious tea set, adjusting its position, polishing spots that didn't need polishing, and then, in a moment of exhausted clumsiness, his sleeve caught the edge of the display table. The crash seemed to echo forever. Every single piece lay shattered on the floor, years of dreams, broken into 1,000 fragments. The potter fell to his knees, his body shaking with sobs that came from somewhere deeper than his chest. By morning, word had spread through the village. The opportunity had passed to another craftsman. For weeks, the potter couldn't bring himself to enter his workshop. The very sight of clay made him sick. Friends tried to console him, telling him there would be other opportunities. But he knew better. The emperor's commission had been his one chance at greatness. And he had destroyed it with his own hands. One day, an old monk came to the village. He had heard about the potter's misfortune and asked to see him. The potter reluctantly agreed, though he had no interest in whatever wisdom the monk might offer. The monk didn't offer wisdom. Instead, he asked to see the broken pieces. "I threw them away," the potter said bitterly. "No, you didn't," the monk replied with a knowing smile. "A true artist never throws away their work, even when it's broken." Reluctantly, the potter led him to a corner of the workshop where a cloth covered a box. Inside were the shattered remains of his masterpiece. The monk picked up a piece, examining it in the light. "Do you know about kintsukuroi?" he asked. The potter shook his head. "It's the art of repairing broken pottery with gold," the monk explained. "The breaking isn't hidden or disguised. Instead, it becomes part of the piece's history, making it more beautiful and valuable than before." "But these pieces were meant for the emperor," the potter protested. "And now they're meant for something greater," the monk said. "Your failure isn't your ending. It's your beginning. But first, you must understand why you failed." The potter felt anger rise in his chest. "I failed because I was clumsy. Because I was exhausted." "No," the monk said gently. "You failed because you were so afraid of losing your dream that you held it too tightly. Fear made you exhausted. Fear made you clumsy. The universe broke your tea set to break your fear." Over the following months, the monk taught the potter the art of kintsukuroi. Together, they repaired the tea set with gold, each crack becoming a vein of light running through the ceramic. But more importantly, the potter learned to repair himself. He discovered that his obsession with recognition had blinded him to the joy of creation itself. His failure had freed him from the prison of other people's approval. He began creating pottery not for fame, but for the pure love of the craft. Word of his golden tea set spread far beyond the village. People came not to see perfect pottery, but to witness the beauty of something broken and restored. The emperor himself eventually heard the story and requested to see this unusual tea set. But by then, the potter had learned the greatest lesson of all: our failures aren't punishments, they're transformations waiting to happen. Every crack in our hearts is where the light enters. Every shattered dream makes space for something we couldn't have imagined when we were desperately holding onto our original plan. The monk left him with these words: Success teaches us nothing but to repeat what worked. Failure teaches us everything, including who we really are.